Hi, everyone. Mark Edward Wilows here again, and welcome to the program, Gabbin. And yes, folks, she is back, and I cannot tell you, I am thrilled, and she's back by popular demand. We are going to be speaking today once again to Kathy Garver, and of course, everybody knows her. The role that really made her a household name was playing Sissy Davis on the big hits, the big CBS hit Family Affair back in the 1960s. But Kathy, a little bit before Family Affair, you already had a career going in Hollywood, beginning with the 10 Commandments, correct?
That's right. And that was really played this last week and the week before. We're in the season of the 10 Commandments.
So tell us a little, because last time you mentioned it, but you didn't tell us, what was your feeling when you got that role? Because obviously you were a little girl, so I'm sure mom and dad were involved. And how did all of that come about for you? How excited were you when they said, you got it?
Well, that was one of my first roles. Actually, that was my third after Night of the Hunter and then a little thing that I did on Armis Brooks. And I was just hired as an extra. And that was my first job that my agent, Hazel Millen, got me. And I didn't even know what is an extra. So, but I went to Paramount and it was all new and fun. And I'm naturally a curious person. I said, well, this looks like it's going to be neat. And went into the makeup and wore these scratchy robes. And we were at Paramount Studios and it was like at the Exodus. And so we're all kind of getting out of town and going on a truck. And so my role as an extra was to be sitting in this wagon with this little lamb on my lap and then going on the wagon out on the sandy trail. So I'm all set up and all of a sudden I hear this big voice. It says, don't let that little girl's face get in the camera. Who is that? I said, is that God? We were doing the 10 Commandments. It wasn't God. It was Cecil B. DeMille way up on this high crane taking an overhead shot. So I did the scene. And then afterwards, he came down from the crane and came over to meet me. I didn't particularly know who it was. But we talked and everything. And then after that, the assistant director came up and told my mom, I said, well, I think she's going to be on this movie a lot longer. And indeed I was on it for about a month and a half with a role. And then I became a principal because he wrote lines into me for me with Charlton Heston and more lines as we're leaving our little village. So that's how it all came to be.
Wow, what an amazing story. Just think, as a little girl working with Charlton Heston, and who would have thought all the years later, you're still at the top of your game in Hollywood and doing what you are doing. Now, last time we talked about Sissy, so I don't want to touch much because everybody knows about Family Affair and the role, but I need to ask you, because I, believe it or not, have been getting a lot of mail on this. Everyone wants to know, is that Kathy Garver in this clear captions commercial that we see on television all day, every day?
It does have a wide distribution, I must say, but the woman in the pink striped blouse and the pink sweater and one of the scenes, that is me. And I'm inviting people to get clear captions, which is a wonderful phone for people that can't hear so well. And it doesn't matter how old you are, but it's a free phone that is supplied by the government. And you read what the person is saying on the phone. It's like a little Alexa box, but with a phone attached. And so you can, pick it up, but the phone is right there for other members of the family that don't need to read the text. But you can just say, hello, hi, Mark Edwards, how are you? And then you say whatever you say, and I read it on at the base of the phone. So wow. It's really a good product.
Yes,
but they do play it not ad nauseum, but everybody has seen it, and it's on MeTV and Decades and all kinds of different places. And so I did a new one, thank God, last week. And so there will be a variant of what I had done before. And we're going to do another one in 4 months where I might actually be the spokesperson because they have gotten such a good reaction to it. And so many of my friends have actually gotten it. My Facebook friends and my other friends So I'm happy with the product, and thank you for asking.
Well, that
It's
is
really, I mean,
great.
I'm becoming this like commercial queen. I did a Super Bowl commercial with Jerry Rice, and then I did a commercial for El Camino Hospital, and I'm a
Yes.
spokesperson for Silverwood, which is an
I
amusement park in Idaho.
Yes, and you rode in on a horse.
Correct, and they're going to start playing those. The park is just opening up in May, even though we shot the commercial last year. So the park is just opening in May, and then they'll start running the commercial.
Kathy, you amaze me at everything what you do. Do you amaze yourself?
Well, I do when I go to bed at night. I say, "Gee, I'm tired. What did I do today?" So sometimes I'm surprised because it isn't just like acting. I have a new magic garden that I planted, and that's growing, and it's my dogs and my husband and the two kids who are 31 that live here and making dinner. And like today was just inundated with getting a new cable system. So I manage the house. So there's lots of things to do.
And speaking of your children, your son is also an actor, correct?
Yes, but now he's become more of an entrepreneur, and he and his girlfriend of 7 years. I think I told you my son really never left the nest. He just invited more birds to come in.
He's smart.
Smart. These kids don't pay rent, utilities, phone, all of that. But he's a great chef, and she's really a good dog trainer. So they contribute some, but they're entrepreneurs, and they have a whole dog business where they're making toys, and they dog train and dog walk into everything in that billion-dollar business that people love their dogs.
Kathy, you are one of the few people that I've talked to that we could really say versatility is your life. Do you think that is the key to being so successful?
Well, I don't know. I think I must have a little adult ADDT or whatever, because I'll get bored.
ADHD.
Yeah, ADHD. I'll get bored easily with doing one thing, and then I says, well, what else do I have to do? Okay, water the plants. Now I've got to go back and put myself up and figure out when I'm going to meet with these people about getting our new pilot done, for Aunt Sissy. And then I says, oh my gosh, but I've got to meet the person that's going to put the water in in the house. And so, but I must say, when I taught speech and voiceover in San Francisco. And I would always tell my students, it's very important, as I think, especially in entertainment, to be as skilled as you can in the various areas. So in voiceover, and even under each genre, there's subgenres. So if I'm going to be, and some of my students, well, I just want to do commercials. Okay, you want to just do commercials, which I don't recommend. I recommend you doing commercials, animation, audiobook narration, industrial. But even under each one of those, like commercial, there's how are you a spokesman? What are the skills that in your voice that you use to do that? Are you a real person, or are you a character in that particular commercial? So there's lots of things to learn. And I think the more kind of skills you put in your skill backpack, the more you're going to work, and the more appealing to me that you're going to be. I can't just do one thing. I was as old as my kids were, I swear to God. And I call my future daughter-in-law my kid. She calls me mom. They want their Easter baskets every year, and they want to go in their egg hunt every year, like on Sunday. So I took these plastic eggs, as I do and I'm filling them with jelly beans, and then now I put money in some of them. But I was telling my husband, I said, he says, oh, well, they love going on that Easter egg hunt. I said, I know, but the worst part was putting the jelly beans in the plastic, putting the jelly beans in the plastic, putting the jelly beans. I said, I'm not good at repetitive work. I'm easily bored. But I did it for the kids.
You know what? I think you are like me. We share one thing in common, and that is A personality. That's what we are, type A. Because I'm the same way. I love doing whatever. People ask me every day, what are you doing now? And I'm like, oh God, do you have 3 hours? Because I mean, that is exactly it. And that, you know, that to me, that's all part of life. I also want to mention, Kathy, oh my God, I mean, just looking here at everything, you are even the Grand Marshal of the Garden Grove Strawberry Festival. Oh my
That's
God.
right.
Tell us about that. Somehow I could just picture you sitting with all the strawberries on the car waving.
Yes, I'm the celebrity grand marshal of the Garden Grove Strawberry Festival, and it's really fun. And we're cutting strawberry shortcake and giving away pieces for free. It's all to benefit the local communities and the first responders.
Mhm.
And it's really going to be fun. And there's of course the parade, and there's rides. And I in my my one book, holiday recipes for a family affair, I have this great recipe about strawberry trifle. And so I'm, printing it out and I'm giving it to the people, and I'll be selling my new book. And one of my Facebook friends made me strawberry jewelry.
I
And
saw that. I
oh,
saw
isn't
that.
that neat?
Beautiful, beautiful. In fact, I believe I shared that even. I sent it to a lot of lady friends and I says, look at this. It was beautiful.
They're so gorgeous. And when I first saw them in the picture, I said, oh, these are going to be really clunky strawberries. But they are so delicate and so beautifully made. It's the bracelet and earrings and strawberries and leaves. It's just gorgeous. And so I'm going to wear a green outfit with red underneath, like a strawberry. And I'm going to wear my strawberry jewelry. Fashion note of May.
Now, you mentioned about the pilot you're working on. Tell us a little something about that. Is this a reboot of Family Affair or a remake? What's the proper term for it, or what?
Well, it's a prequel sequel is what
Prequel
we're
sequel.
calling it.
Okay.
It's a prequel sequel is what we're calling it. And we're putting it kind of in the new format that so many shows are in, where we'll have 8 episodes and then eight episodes. And it's called Aunt Sissy. And or Family Affair Revisited. But I'll be the linchpin and do the first one. And from there, it will go off to how did Mrs. Beasley come to be Mrs. Beasley? And she's based on a real person. And then we see Uncle Bill and Mr. French. It's a really interesting story about Mr. French. So
Mr. French was such an interesting character.
Oh yeah, people love Mr. French. Well, they liked all the characters.
Oh yeah, let me tell you,
so definitive.
Let me tell you, Kathy, not only did everybody love the characters, everybody even loved Mrs. Beasley. Somebody just told me today, oh my God, I had that now.
Well, do you know?
It is.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
well, yeah. She was very popular. She got her own chapter in the memoir book, and they are still making her today, Ashton Drake, and they sell 100,000 of these per year. And I'm taking them to the Strawberry Festival also, and to show people and have fun with that.
Oh, now the original one that Anissa Jones used in the show, does that one exist anywhere, or is it in a museum? Or
it's supposed to be in the Smithsonian. I believe it's in the Smithsonian. They have like different rooms with TV shows, and I think they have like Timmy from what was it? Timmy's in the Well, and from Lassie, and this little red and white check shirts. Is in there.
Yes,
and they have All in the Families.
The chair and all, yes.
Yeah, right, exactly.
Interesting.
Yeah, we are all on the same page always, Mark.
Yes. But anyway, that is really some, I just, how the show has taken on a life. And, Kathy, so many years, it's what, 55th anniversary for Family Affair. And, new generations, I mean, today on Decades and all the different outlets, how do you feel that the show is brought back? Because, as you remember, that wasn't that way as early as 10 years ago. I mean, I would always think like, God, remember Family Affair, remember this, and whoever thought that would be back today and people would be watching, and you see kids today saying Mrs. Beasley. Did you ever think that this would happen?
I never thought it was going to be such a success as it was. You get into a thing, and even though it was pre-sold and it had fabulous credentials and wonderful people, working with it, Ed Hartman, And Don Feddersen, who was on probably his 6th season at that time of My Three Sons. So everyone was so professional and they knew how to write, especially Ed Hartman, who was the president of the Writers Guild for a long time. And he was also associated with My Three Sons. They all came from film also, because TV was still kind of warming up and trying to establish its position. And so it had the sensibility of film. It was done on film and they treated it, like a mini film, so a mini movie. So it was a delight, certainly, to work on. So I didn't know, still though, you never know if a show's going to last. And then it lasted and lasted. But even in our contracts, they did say we would get reruns till the 10th rerun, but they didn't know that they were going to be all these platforms or DVD or whatever. So I was at least able, I think I may have told you last time, to get it put on DVD, and all the actors got paid. And we went through SAG, and
I have the whole set for the record.
Good for you. You have such good taste.
Yes, I always, just love the show. I mean, it was such a heartwarming show. And also, correct me if I'm wrong, somebody just told me the other day, the gentleman that played your boyfriend Greg on the show was actually the son of Don Feddersen.
That's right. And he was so darling. And he started playing my boyfriend, and then we started dating in real life. Well, Mr. Feddersen, the dad, wasn't so sure that he wanted his son dating the help. So he kind of put a kibosh on that. But Greg was just wonderful, just so charming. Just
very good actor. And I love the episode when one of your former boyfriends was in town, and it was a threesome. You all went out to dinner.
That didn't work very well.
No, but that was a good episode. Now, Kathy, tell us, you're also doing some movies. You're playing Linda Hamilton in a new movie called The Broken Road. What is that about? Because I understand it's something working with therapy horses, and that's something I'm really interested in, as I'm sure many people are. Can you elaborate a little on that?
Sure. I mean, I'm going from the commercial queen at the first of this year, and then I have 5 movies that I'm doing this year.
Wow.
But I think the most touching and
do you have a maid at home?
They come every 2 weeks, and the gardener just finished, but and Reed, my son, picks up a lot, and he's supposed to empty the dishwasher. My husband's supposed to do the dishes. That doesn't happen.
Oh, okay.
The Broken Road is really a wonderful story, and the writer and the producer of it has won many screenplay awards, and this one is also awarded. And he's ex-military, and so this movie is about people that have been in the war, fellows and women too, but that have PTSD. And especially this one man who is a broken man, hence the broken road. And he meets my daughter. I have a ranch with horses, and a relationship ensues, but they are just like this because they are so broken that they can't get beyond that to really join. And through the help of the horse and the therapy horse and the bond that becomes between the person with the PTSD is really heartwarming, and the different things that happen throughout the movies. I mean, there's storms, and there's this, and there's a country singer, and we're shooting it in Norco, California, but we're also going to go to Nashville and shoot the scenes where the country singer is. So I'm really looking forward to that one. And Linda Hamilton, I don't think that they realize that Linda Hamilton is so well known, the name itself. But
yes. And you start filming that this summer, correct?
Correct, yeah.
And how long will that take? Do you know the process?
I'm not sure. I would venture about 5 weeks, but you never can tell. Old Man Jackson, that I started last year, is still just 85% done. So we still have about 85, 95, 50 more percent to do. And I'm going to go back to Houston, pick up my final scenes, but that is supposed to then debut and premiere in the fall in Houston and in LA. So
wow. And also, beside all of that, now you are the voice of a book. We need to talk about that. I love the title, A Cat's Tale of the Holy Spirit. Tell us about that, and how did all that come about? You know, as I was thinking of this, you have such a very, I think, soothing voice would be the word. And I could picture you doing this for books. So tell us a little something how that all came about.
well, I've taught audiobook for a long time. I've recorded maybe 60 books, and I have won like 4 Audis. This particular book, and there are like 4 of them. And they are written by Dr. Fred Eichelman, who is just a wonder. He's like 85 now, and in next month, I'm going to Happy Trails, Virginia style, and that's in Roanoke. And it's a festival to laud really well-made, more family-oriented media. So I'm going to show a couple of things of from 10 Commandments. Now, I thought I had some of his. Well, so the first one was Mrs. Hudson's cat, and that was like Sherlock Holmes and observed through the eye of the cat. And Dr. Fred and his wife, they love cats. And then the second one that he did was a cat's nativity tale. And this is about the cat that was there when Jesus was born. And he identified this rat and knew that it was like Satan. And he went after the rat and made the rat go away. And then the next one was A Cat's Tale of the Resurrection. And that's, very timely. But and then this last one that I just did, and it's not out quite yet. It's going to be out on Audible and Amazon soon. And also through Dr. Fred's website. So, and this one is about the Holy Spirit, and they picked up a dog along the way in the last one, and now they picked up a little kitten so I get to be the kitten and I got to be the dog. And then of course, Hatul is the name of the cat. That's Hebrew for cat. So
and you are also the author of many books, and your latest, which I want to touch on, is, and I'm telling you, everybody needs this book that is your fan or a fan of Family Affair. It's a Family Affair scrapbook. I mean, come on, folks, does it get any better? Put together by Sissy herself. So tell us a little something about that. Anybody buys it, what would they have to look forward to in that book?
Well, I originally talked to the publisher because we are going to do TV Dinners TV book, and that's named after another pilot that we've done. But this is the Family Affair scrapbook. So
I love it. I love it.
So there were photos all over. This office was just inundated with photos and memorabilia. And I actually did, at the Valley Relics Museum in San Fernando Valley, I did a Family Affair exhibit. And I had so many of the actual memorabilia, like from clocks and lunch pails and everything, but it's really bright. The colors are so vibrant that all of a sudden you're transported back to the 60s. And the pages, the designer that worked on this book with me was just wonderful. And Deborah Herman, and did just wonderful things of putting it together and making it fun and making it vibrant.
Well, because if you recall, I mentioned the last time we talked, I wrote a children's book, and the designer and the illustrationist, they are also what make the book. They are a major part of the book. And we chose one too, and it was just fabulous when it came out. And they are a huge part of the book. Now, let me ask you this. Do you have any memorabilia at home from the show? Did you swipe anything from the set before they turned it?
How about a pink phone?
Oh my God. Oh my God. Do you know what? I was just going to ask you. That was the question. How about that pink phone you had?
And that's so funny because we didn't even pre-plan this. Some friends of mine actually gave me this phone, this pink phone, and it just happened to be right here by my side.
Kathy, I love it. Well, I will tell you, you are always a joy to have on the program. You are always welcome to come back to the show. My viewers love you. You are just great. And I'm telling you, I guess I'm going to ask you the question, what does the future hold yet for Kathy Garver? My goodness, where will you be? Well, the Academy Award.
Well, I hope so. And I'm going to try and reserve myself and not get too angry at anybody that says anything. So maybe I will be invited back. But as I said, I'm going to Roanoke for the Happy Trails. And then that same month, I'm doing the festival and the parade. And then I'm going to start with my movies, picking up the Houston thing. So we'll have Old Man Jackson and then The Broken Road. And then a person that I had met just called me about 3 weeks ago. And he says, we're doing a new movie, A Mother's Christmas. And I'd love for you to be the mother in it and star in this movie.
Wow.
And he says, it's because of you that we put this together, because blah, 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 giving him a ride to a Comic-Con. And we started talking about what happens if the mother has the kids and perhaps they can't all join for Christmas, etc. So he says, now, and that was like 3 years ago, you never know in life what's going to kind of pop up.
Oh, exactly, exactly.
And so it popped up. And so this is another movie. They're just finishing the script on this one. And so that's coming along as well.
Well,
and I just have to tell you that there's a new network called Classic Reruns TV. And I hosted a marathon for Patty Duke in January, and I'm going to host another thing for them for the 60th anniversary of the Beverly Hillbillies.
Oh, another one of my favorite shows.
Yeah.
I will be watching. Well, Kathy, once again, always a pleasure, and you are always welcome back.
Thank you. It's always fun to talk with you, Mark Edward.